All right, that's our pallet. Not bad, guys, not bad. So I left this long because I think we're gonna have this stream do something like come in the side. Give them some more to look at. And that stream will have drop hard and fast in over here and make it as high as possible so we get some show in that direction. So this stream will come like this for them. That stream will come and drop heavy over there. So what we want for the falls is to have something that'll hold up a fall stone or be a big fall stone over here, a bigger one here to separate the two, or a collection of smaller stones. Leave a space for something pretty in the middle, because when we split this, we can put a specimen in the middle. And then we can come through here. You can almost see it if we have a fast falls back there.
Yep.
And come through here, we can actually turn and come in this way.
Sweet, yeah.
And come in on this side. And that'll give them something to look at as they're coming out over here.
Yeah.
So let's start at this side, because this is where we have our height. If we wanted to make a nice show right here, we need a stone for the base of the waterfall, and we need a spill rock. All right, so this guy, I like the shape of him. We're gonna put him over here, and then we're gonna build something up so we can make a fall here. All right, that tells everybody where the waterfall is coming from, and that'll direct our water back in. We wanna use up as much of this surface as possible, because we don't want a dry bed of gravel at the bottom.
Okay.
So the next thing we're gonna place is something in there that we can start building up the waterfall for. It should be about the same size as this one, so we have a platform so we can cross over, so it doesn't have to be huge. That one would be great. And that just a little farther down so it ends up even. All right, let's see if we can lift this end up a little. Good. And now we're gonna flip this liner over, and we're gonna backfill behind these stones.
Oh yeah, okay.
With soil.
Yeah.
We're gonna pack that in really, really well, and we're gonna bring the soil up to this level here, so all of this gets filled. But we have to make sure we pack the support for this stone in real well, because this stone isn't supported, it's just hanging on top of this one. So this spot is real important. All right, this is our specimen stone for this corner, this guy. He's gonna be the corner that gets people in here.
Okay.
But let's try this. He's a little large, but that forces me to use this area here for my stream.
Okay.
So we may move that stone back a little, because this guy will literally squish that a little bit, but
yeah.
Let's try it anyway, because if we can get it in there and it works, it's gonna be very impressive. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go over there and look at it. We're just gonna spin it slow. It's gonna be hard to spin, be careful. Okay, excuse me for 1 second, sorry. Okay. It's gonna sit like this, right? Spin that point towards me, please. A little more. Oh, that looks really cool. Can we put it back in there so that this touches over there and this stays onto the, we're gonna go back to about 20 inches or so. Leave this on the blocks so it extends forward. There you go, good, come on down. Nice. Now, do we leave it all the way back? Yeah, why not? We'll leave it back, we'll bring something down in front. I like it. Yeah, let's leave it. Now, we have to be very careful about this stone, because if we pull it on that liner, there's a stone underneath, we're ripping that liner to shreds. Liner between two stones doesn't have a chance. So, I would have put down 3 pieces of landscape fabric on this. Good. So, what we want to do is lift this baby here and rotate it without getting anything on the stone below. That's right. Now, rotate it. Careful, it's going to slip. Like that. Okay. Let's check with the 4-foot level. What looks like to me is any water that hits this stone is going to go right to the front, and it's going to stay off this high point, which is just what we want. We'll foam this out, and then this becomes part of the waterfall, which is really cool. What that means is, and we have a rock here. By the way, just to point this out. Everybody see them? Those are holes. Anytime you put two rocks with liner between, we have holes. Now, not a big deal, because this is a foot above water level, right? This is on the edge, but we have to be careful. We're gonna use something here To keep the water away from this and in there, we can go this way and fill in, or we can go this way and end it right here. That red one, the long skinny red one that's at the bottom of the pallet over there, might be the ideal stone if it's tall enough to be just an inch or two taller than this one. Then we're not obscenely high, but we have this whole thing set up for a nice fall. Then all we got to do for this is a straight run to accelerate the water, and it drops. So this is relatively easy. We're going to put this stone, and a couple of stones there to the fast falls. This side's done. Gently slide it down and back a little. Good, right there. Now, over here we got to fill this in so no water goes under. So we're going to flip this over again. I'm going to pack soil in there really, really tight so that we have something to foam, because this is too big a void to foam. The other thing to watch when you're doing this, right here there's a corner. If we fold this over and then hit it with the rock, we could put a hole even with the plastic. Good. Liner's better. Nice. So we're going to just make sure that that's pulled back. Alejo, can you see? We're just going to bring this back so this liner can't get pitched. If it was folded over, it could get pinched. So we're just going to bring it back nice and tight. We're going to put this down. Yeah, nice. Okay.
What are you, side
can we
jaw?
open this? Can we still open this? No. Yep. Yes, we can. So what we're going to do here is we'll do it from the outside. We're going to pack this in over here with soil.
Soil?
Yeah. We now remove the possibility of using an artificial stone over this whole cover. So we're going to find a piece of natural stone that sits on this so we don't have to see the plastic. And it may even function as a partial spill. What we're doing now is water's going to get trapped by this one, come over here, hit this. It's going to go straight down there. It's going to bounce in here. We're going to have lots of splash, lots of stuff to see. And because this is high and that's high, all we have to make sure is when we get to between that point and this point, all the water funnels down the middle, and we're good. You guys like it? Are we seeing a waterfall starting to come to fruition? Okay, good. Let's do that side now.
So you have that whole coverage there,
Yeah.
the aqua blocks, okay?
Right.
How much do you need
to get the water down in?
Yeah.
About this much.
Not much.
Not much.
Okay.
So we can cover all of that stuff. What we're doing now is making sure that that doesn't sit there and look ridiculous. We need a couple more like this. We're going to put one in there as a splash. We could use one of the big ones, but it reduces the height of the waterfall. What do you feel about this? Do you want to use one of those guys in there for a splash, but it'll reduce the drop if we use a thick one? Or do you want to use another one like this?
I think maybe another one like this.
Okay.
Don't you think? Or...
Yeah.
So, okay, so the second question.
Yeah.
Is there something that you can put in there to keep debris from getting down in there? Like
into this?
Yeah.
Very little's going to get in there. We're going to cover everything with gravel.
Okay.
So how's it going to get through the gravel?
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
It's going to stay clean.
Okay.
So we don't really have to worry too much about that, because the way these are set up, the gravel acts as a filter.
Yeah.
And then because the pump is off in a corner, whatever debris falls that isn't directly next to the actual basin itself, will just go straight down. There's no current to bring it over. It just drops.
Okay.
So that stays clean. That said, if anything did, say, wash down in here, they had a flood, you could always just take a shop vac and clean this out.
Yeah.
And if worst case now, if you had to, you could actually pull one of these blocks out and do that.
Right, yeah, yeah.
We've never had to do that.
Yeah.
Never. You can always get to that, and that's always
Sure.
the deep spot. It's always easy to clean.
Perfect.
So it's never actually been a problem. All right. So now some water will come around, some water will go in front. This more or less is done. Now we got to make sure that the water goes where we want it to. So now we put stones around the outside edge. So we're going to use the ones like this on that pallet, mixed in with some boulder, and just come around with a low edge, 3 or 4 inches higher, all the way around than this edge, to force the water to go on top of these stones. We want this stream to be really interesting looking, right? Mm-hmm. So it's going to come gravel over here, some gravel in there. You need to have a drain, because right now all of your water is going to go onto the patio. So we're going to sculpt out a little channel that looks like this. It continues to get to that point on the wall and out again. All right, here we got to fold the liner over, and we got to backfill behind these stones. we have to make a base with this stuff for the next level, which he's coming in with. So that goes over. Good. Make sure this is, hold on one second, make sure this is all the here it is. This is what we got to backfill. And we got to backfill to this height. Well, hold on. If you put it in the sod like that, then you can't get down in here. So get the stuff all the way under with the little stuff first, and then we can use sod to get the rest of the stuff. So that's good there. Let's flop everything back and see what we have wrought. Good. Good. Very good. Wow, we're almost ready for water. Let's redo this little thing right here so I can put the fast falls here. I was gonna put the fast falls here on top, but if I have the fast falls here, I gotta cover something higher than this, and I think this is already high enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't wanna go much higher than that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So what I'm gonna do instead is, I'm gonna put the fast falls here, right in that pocket, have the water come this way.
Say a lot of leaks happen with that, Demi, or no?
Never. It can't leak.
Really?
That's why we use these. I'll show you. You'll figure out why as soon as you see it.
Okay.
This is going to sit with this lip on this rock. So this is just barely enough room. We have to tweak it a little bit. And we have to take out a little bit of this, just a little. It's close to where it has to be. So let's flip this over. Okay, good. And if you take a look at that, it's got a protruding lip that's going to sit on top of this rock. So we just have to take out this stuff back to about here, down to this level right here. The nice thing about this is, not only is it leak proof, and you'll see why, but it's also crush proof.
Nice.
So once we get this in there, we're going to put a big old stone on top of it that overhangs it so you can't see it.
Okay.
Now, let's make a little channel in the middle right here for the pipe to come in. Yep. Right there, yep. And it's going to come in from that side. Good, right there, yep. All right, so the way these work is, basically they're an uncrushable fitting that goes on the end of your pipe. Oh. All right, it's uncrushable because you got these cones and these troughs, and they meet. You can put a 26,000 pound payloader on this and it won't squish. Take a look at page 35 in my catalog if you don't believe me. So this can be used for planting or gravel or whatever. This is to hold gravel or plants or mulch, but it'll bend down if you put a big enough weight. But it can't ever close this space, unlike some of the competing diverter boxes where they have these things like clamshells. Put something too heavy and they close up like a clamshell. This squishes all the way down and it can't close the hole, so you don't have to worry about it. And then in back, the most important thing is, this is a Schedule 40 spin weld. So you're gonna attach your Schedule 40 male adapter, which is on the ground right there, to this and plumb your pipe into it. And then there's a ring, there it is, which clamps the liner to as high as the top of this. So the water comes out down low, the liner's on top. It can't leak because the liner's permanently attached higher than the water can get to. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure there's no wrinkles on the back, fold this up, right? So we have the liner, and then we're going to just, with our finger, we're just going to put a little mark, and you'll feel the edge of the hole that we're going to be attaching our fitting to, and that just gives you an idea of where that hole goes. If we have enough liner, the easiest way to do this, holding this in place, is to just lift this whole thing up like this. Get this off of here. All right? So now you can easily do what you got to do right here. So you know more or less where this is going, right? Yep. You'll notice there's a flat spot top and bottom. That corresponds to the top and the bottom of the unit. So it's going to go like this. It's going to go centered on this thing, which I can feel is right here. And if I look at this, I know that there's 2 bolt holes on either side. So I know more or less that there's a bolt hole here. Oh, there it is. I can feel it. Boop. And there's a bolt hole over here. Boop. Once you get one in, all the rest line up.
Sure.
They're all set up. And they're on a little bit of an oval. So if the first screw goes into the left of the oval, all will go into the left of the oval. It's a CNC process. So we're just going to fold this down more or less where it is. And now we're going to take the beastie. We're going to go once around the hole and then connect to the next one. Yeah, try not to move the box. Once around the hole and a nice line to the next one.
Straight line?
Yep. There you go. And around the hole to the next one. Okay, there's our marks. Good. Just get it so it's wrinkle free and don't make it tight. Don't make it tight. Leave a little extra. That's right. That's good. Doesn't matter where the marks were. Now you got new marks. Okay? So run your finger along here and make a mark for where the, there you go. Put this so that it's in the middle, more or less where you think the thing is, more or less like that. All right? And then you got a power or a manual screwdriver? Got a manual? All right, here's power. What you can do is you can take the power screwdriver or the manual screwdriver and you can find the hole for the first one. Here's the hole. That's it. Yep. So there's your hole. So just do that. Are we on low? Yes, we are. And you put your first one in. I'll do the first one only because the first one's a pain in the neck. It's got to find its way into the hole. There it is. I'm not going to tighten it. Okay, but that first one went to the right side of the oval. So here you go. Take this. Take this. Make sure this is pretty much even. And go to the right side of the oval right there. Right side. Right? Like this one. Okay?
Like there.
Try that. Yep. Try it. Oh my goodness. You found it.
Yeah.
Right where you thought it was. Now do the same thing for every other one. Once that's done, all you got to do is cut this out anywhere you like. I cut it out pretty close to the ring. Boop. Remove this. Boop.
White pipe.
The white thread there.
And now, put that down there. Now with silicone on it, I'm going to do a little more silicone. Could I have the silicone, please? There's no sense. You got a whole tube. You've only used about, I don't know, a third, a half of it, something like that.
Yeah.
No sense.
Don't be shy with it.
No sense conserving it. Although we have tons and tons of half-squeezed tubes
Yeah.
because they always give you extra of everything. Get that in there. Come on, go on in. There we go. Now it's going to give me problems. Watch. There we go. And this will typically bottom out in here. The spin weld fittings are typically generous, which is why we like to use the silicone in them. Mm-hmm. And this is a Schedule 40 fitting. All we got to do now is glue this in place, which is what we're going to do next. Ladies first is always a good rule. Hold it in there because it is a tapered fitting, so it will push out. Okay, now, liners up here, fitting sealed with silicone and with cement, can't leak. Now we can put a big honking stone on top of this.
Sweet.
I'm putting this here so it's self-draining. We're going to put a valve on the far low side because otherwise all the water will want to go there. A check valve is going to hold water in the lines, right? Well, that's fine for a filter or something that requires water all the time, but these don't require all the water all the time. So I don't know how severe winters are here, but at some point you'll probably have to turn this off, right?
Yeah.
When it gets turned off, you just need to open the union on the check valve to let the water drain out of these lines.
Okay.
Otherwise you could have problems.
Yeah.
So yep, just get in there. Good. Now let's do the pump. There's a union on the bottom, union on the top, so you can disconnect this and hook other stuff to it. For example, we have an ionizer. An ionizer puts a small amount of copper ions into the water, keeps algae from growing. With this installed, you just unscrew this, put the ionizer on, which looks just like this, and screw in the end of the ionizer, and now you just inserted the ionizer into the thing without any plumbing. So it's very easy to do. There's unions with O-rings on top and bottom, so you can take this apart. So you can pull this pump out for plumbing.
Nice.
Very important. The thing that makes it universal is this adapter. On one side of the adapter, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with 2-inch down. On the other side, you got the same thing with 1.5-inch down. So it'll fit in any pump with either a 2-inch or an 1.5-inch discharge, right? But the best thing about it is if you look at the instructions that come with all the products, in this case, this is the instruction that came with that pump vault. That's called a 7500, and this is a TT6000. The pumps are here. The skimmers and vaults are here. If I look at them, it says for the PV7500 at the TT6000, I cut at O. It says O. Okay. Well, it said O, not a number. So if you look at this, when the letters are right side up, it means it's an 1.5-inch discharge. When the numbers are right side up, cut at O, it means it's a 2-inch discharge. So it's telling me to cut there at 0, which means that this is going to fit right in there, and it does. This is going to exactly mate this check valve to this pump in that PV 7500 vault, the exact right height. Okay. Now, it's universal because if you had somebody else's pump vault or somebody else's pump, you measure to the center of the hole that you want this thing to go out of, right, where your pipe's going to go, down to the female fitting on the top of the pump and subtract 6. So if you had 13 inches, you subtract 6, you'd cut 7 with either the 2-inch or the 1.5-inch in the appropriate orientation, right? And that's it. So it'll fit anybody's anything, but it's really designed for our stuff so that you don't have to worry about measuring anything to make things fit. Okay, so we have to foam all of this, but we're going to be able to tell where we have to foam best by running it, and the foam works best when wet. Under 40 degrees, 40% rather humidity, it won't dry, believe it or not. It won't set up. So it actually was super dry yesterday. I don't know if it's as dry as it was yesterday, but it was crazy dry yesterday, and it would have had trouble. So we're going to run this real quick just to see what goes on, and then we're going to foam it and see the difference between foaming it and not foaming it. Now, most of the water is going to come out of that one. How do I know?
Check valve?
No, it's lower. Okay? And all the water is going to go behind the rocks instead of on top of the rocks. And nothing came up here. All right, now we're going to balance the flow. Oh, we got a little up here. That's good. That's a lot of pump. We want more up top. Where am I going? I'm going that way. So.
That's really cool.
Okay. Well, that's more up top and less on the bottom. So we'll balance it something like that. Now, that's underwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. We're losing about 60% of the water behind the stones instead of it going over. We're going to let it drain for a little bit, and we're going to foam it. It'll take about 10 minutes. We'll run it again. We'll see where we missed with the foam, and then we'll do a final foaming. And the difference will be, just remember what it looked, how bad it looked now, okay? Now, in the meantime, this is good up here. That looks good. We got no water near the edges anywhere. That was important. We're not going to cut the liner until we foam because we are going to bring the water up on top of all the rocks. So we're gonna foam first. It's still running, wow. So what's running over there is the water that's coming out of the high part of the pipe down into the fast falls and out. But it does self-drain. It'll drain from here down and then from there up. What we're gonna do to make sure this drains, there's a low spot here that could be vulnerable to freezing. So we're gonna pick this up over here and make sure this is pitched down, even if we have to lower it here. The last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little tiny track in here for water to go, because otherwise all the water's gonna end up right here and onto the patio. All right, biggest thing to remember about the foam is it does not come off when it dries. You have to take a pumice stone and rub your skin off because the foam's not coming off. It'll come off easily when it's wet with acetone, foam remover, which is basically acetone, or PVC primer, which is also basically acetone, with lots of other carcinogens in it. So wear gloves. Also, it's really a good idea to wear glasses because if it gets on your eyeballs, you can't use the solvent. So be very careful. Anywhere where the water might go around a stone instead of over it, the sides of these fast falls, so the water can't go behind the fast falls, you have to go in front. I'm just putting a little bit of a barrier. It's only a barrier, it's not a waterproof thing. It won't permanently keep water in or out. It just is a diverter so that the water goes where you want it to go instead of all over the place. When it starts to skin over, see? The outside's now you can touch. But if you broke this skin, it would be nasty and horrible inside. But now you can take this and you can shove it down and cover it with stone and move it where you need to move it. You just can't touch the black stuff. So this is still too wet. You can see it's not quite skinned over yet. When it is skinned over, you can pop it off like dried foam, dried styrofoam. Maybe that's what it feels like. What Edwin's doing now is a very important technique. He's taking a piece of scrap fabric and he's putting it over an area where the water would normally just go right down through the eco blocks and disappear, leaving the rest of the area dry. So what he's doing now is he's actually blocking the water off so it can't get down into the eco blocks until farther out. That extends the length of the stream visually without any additional real effort. You don't have to seal it or anything. We got so much water coming over that it'll just extend out. So the water will only go under in there somewhere, and some places in here. The water will still run between the little pieces of gravel and not over the gravel unless we seal the gravel. And all we need to do that is a bucket of fine sand or a bag of sand. It doesn't even have to be fine sand. It could be coarse sand. That would be better. Or really fine stuff. And we'll pour that here and there on the gravel to bring the water up on top. So they're going to bring the hose over now. We're going to wash this in very carefully. And that's perfect. Exactamente así. Sí. The edge, you roll it in and leave the little bit of extra because just in case something happens or something's about to pour off the side, and that can happen with the foaming. Water coming down onto foam behind the stones can ride up because it's moving down real fast. It can actually ride upward. So you have to be careful. So we don't cut everything until we're really, really sure. This is running around in a circle. I love that. I just want to get a little more out of that one and we're good.
Yeah.
A third of the stones with water, not bad. Not bad at all. And any of those foam bubbles that you see, just pop off. It's going to be crystal clear in 2 days anyway because there isn't a lot of mud. There was some clayish stuff on some of the stones, but the sand doesn't really color the water. It just goes straight down.
Yeah.
If you want to see how much the sand migrates, we can take a look inside the pump vault and see if there's any sand in there. There should be very, very little, if any. And there it is.
That's great.
So you guys did good. How do you like it? Pretty cool, right? Not bad for a morning's work.
Yeah.